let's continue. So you can see this is just really colorful, too colorful. We're gonna go back in with the neutrals and start to use the neutrals as a structure. So I'm going from fuzzy to focus here. And here are my 3 brushes. This is a Scepter Gold number 2. No, and yeah, series 2, but it's a number 8. This is a Cotman brush, and it's a liner, and it will just allow for some really spontaneous marks. Now this one is, I've kind of liked it. It's an Aqua Elite, and it is by Princeton. It's a number 8. So here's the difference between a brush that's been well loved, and here's just a new, very pointy. It's got a good point on it. Both of these are rounds, by the way. This one just has seen some different days, but I like the firmness of this brush. So let's go ahead. We're going to actually start on this side of the painting and move to the right. So let's start to see what is going on in this painting and what we're willing to work on. So using my color isolator, I'm still putting down color and determining what the color is. So I've just checked to see that this in the doorway is it's like a yellow violet. So I can quickly put color down using this brush. And I'm going to go around some of the color that's already there and just get it down. It's in the doorway. The greenery will go on top. Scrubbing out that color where I don't need it. Dragging that neutral down into the plant. Going back for a little yellow ochre, just to build this All right, I'm gonna go ahead with my round brush and start to find some of these darker darks in the wood door. So, you know, it's really easy to get confused on some of these items of perspective. So I'm already lost, and that's why I'm going down here just to see where I'm going. Now, while this blue, this is just ultramarine, or you can use cobalt. While it's wet, I'm going to drop in some Crimson Lake, which will make it darker, and it'll model the wood. And I'm real happy with how that looks. And I'll probably do more of this as I move through this door. This is burnt sienna. Building the panels. Going back for a little more ultramarine or cobalt to darken and deepen. Giving texture. Right up here, it's really dark. There, that looks good to me. And then we're framing in. I really do get lost in all this perspective. It's hard to see it. So it looks like this is doing this instead of how I had it. This brush does not use or hold a lot of water, but it's a good liner. These doors are just amazing, aren't they? I'm trying to keep it in mind that the greenery will come over top. Certainly I feel that the door is the center of focus here. And while this is wet, I'm going to get Crimson Lake and just give it some depth. Working negative space, everybody. I've got the Crimson Lake on my brush. Building slowly. Really studying as I go. This is like a step. The stoop. Okay, so that's gonna get dark right down here. Doom, 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 right there. And I'm looking for places to carry this value upward. And while it's on my brush, where else I might place it. So really, this is the fun of it. And we got right to it, didn't we? So with this cobalt blue on my brush, I'm just gonna keep going right down into the tile, carrying over to the terracotta plant. Being aware that a lot of this is grout and it's imperfect. So I want to create that in my painting, where it's cracked. Okay, so right here, just a good place to drop in some Crimson Lake to give it some depth. All right, got a little purple there, didn't I? So I'll just add some water, and I'm going to drag some of this around. This is nice and bright. So I'm going to go get some good bright color. There. Well, not quite that. And then right here, this too. So I just want to show you that I did let the paper peek through, and I'm gonna leave that because I think it's such a nice touch to the idea of the tile. Everyone, less is always is better, and I'm going to try for myself to keep that in mind. Dragging, letting the paper come through. Going back to that neutral, which would be the purple and a little yellow ochre. I'm building the area right here around the pot. Okay, I'm happy with that. I'm going to add a little bit of this neutral. Over here. Just using my brush to create some of that, and going back for a little cobalt to just dot in there. There are so many ways to build a texture. Whatever works for you is most important. That's all that matters. We'll come back to that. Might have liked it before. And we're going to add just a little bit of water here and let it all run together. Okay, we're into the wall. But I'll bet you want to do that pot first. So thinking of the neutrals, I'm going after a little bit of green mixed with a little bit of Crimson Lake to find this edge and the ridges. I don't want to get too illustrative. I want to imply and suggest. And there is a little bit of a decorative pattern here, which, you know, we can create. It's up to you. We'll see how that turns out. And it's down here too. So, you know, maybe I was too bright right there. So, you know, we use our brush as our eraser. I mean water as our eraser. And we let it dry because we can do it again. Okay, there's a hard edge for that wall right there. So we're still moving across, knowing, you know, this could still be wet. So let's just go over here to some of these plants, and with my pointed brush, I'm trying to paint some of the negative space here. And while it's wet, I'm going to drop in some red. Just irregular places. And we're going to go get a little bit of the neutral. And this will give it the depth. Same thing here. You can drag the paint, use the brush, for petals. You don't want the petals to all look the same. Some are thick, some are thin. Just kind of sketching is what we're doing. That's all we're doing. Let's not make it more important than just simply sketching with the brush. Okay? Okay, so this is gonna move to the bottom of the pot. And this is where my neutral will kick in. You know, I'm going to utilize this white spaces that didn't get covered. I'm going to utilize multiple values. Drop in. And I'll come over top of this in a little while with just a nice secondary green. I don't want all the shapes to look the same. So let's come back, get a little bit of that neutral, and let it run through there. And we're gonna come get some red, mix it with, and create this pot. The age on this pot is something we want to communicate. We're showing the texture on this wall. I'm a little cool in temperature right now, but watch, when I add the red, it should really perk up. Let's hope so. Just looking for places to work. So we talk about connecting everything on the tabletop. That's what we're doing with these little lines right there. All right. And we're going to go get some red, which should neutralize and just give it some Isn't that pretty? I'm happy with that. We'll come back in to build some more leaves. We have a chance now to make this pot a little more terracotta, and we'll do that. But let's not do it now. Let's just wait a little bit. Let's just bring some of it downward. There. And we're going to drop it in places. We don't want it to get too spotty. We want to connect. All right, let's go to the next pot. So this pot's just a little oranger. So we're going to go get a little more vermilion. These are the details you all love about this photo. And so, boy, oh boy, we're getting right to it, aren't we? And we are building value almost right away. There's a pattern in this pot too. Might be going the wrong way. All right, we're going to neutralize this with, guess what? A little green. We want to show that it's behind. And we're going to drop in some green down here. And those are our neutrals. We can really darken with a little bit of blue, but we're not going to do that right now. Okay, so this one is a different plant. It's linear. It's got some curlies. All right. And this one is overflowing. Well, I know you're going to love painting on these plants. You know, I even see a little blue in this one. Okay. Again, we're sketching with the brush. We're letting some of that color peek through. And we're going to go after the red to give it a little depth in spots. It's the neutral. So the top of the pot can be seen. I've got the neutral on my brush and I'm going to sketch it in. I see some stalks or stems going upward and some growth there at the bottom of the pot. And it goes all the way across until we start to connect with the next pot. So here are some neutrals going in. You can see they're kind of green. This might be, you know, a mold and an older aged pot. I do see purple, but we're going to get the green in first. And we'll put a little red on top and we'll come back and get the purple. It's going pretty good so far. I have to say, I feel good about this one. All right, let's add a little bit of the vermilion. See how pretty that is? Too soon to add the purple, okay? We'll come back and glaze with the purple. Let's go ahead and finish this other pot. We're gonna start right here with the darks. Sketching with a brush, just trying to indicate what we see. Now I do see plenty of blue. Very interesting. Don't really know what these are, but I'm enjoying them. There's some things going on here we'll come back to, but there's some yellow right in there. I will go get some blue. I'm gonna mix it though, so it's not real bright. So this pot, the marks are very important. Oh, that worked out well. There was just enough there to grab it on damp paper, even wet paper. Okay, terracotta. There's a little light on the edge. Okay, yeah, there's some space. And pure, yeah, there. Okay, we're gonna connect these with a little bit of greenery, but we're not gonna touch. If we touch, it runs together. I don't think that's what we want. We just want to get as much down as possible. And there's some green. That just helps us see what's there. All right, I'm gonna go underneath now. I'm going back for that purple, and it does run together with some blue. And we're gonna call it I don't want my video to get too long, but we're gonna start to see some of this connection. On the wall, because we have to connect all of these pots or it can look too isolated. And I am a little purple, but blue. Oh, look, drop it. Yeah, so now I've connected the pot to the tabletop, and I like that. Over here, same thing. And I can just really sketch in some lines just to break up the bottom of the pot, you know? It's kind of sketching again, sketching with a brush. We'll come back. This one's closer so we can show more. And we can drop in some water there. All right, well, I think I'm gonna end this video.